you are drowning in debt, and paying the minimum balance is a mathematical death sentence. Credit card companies explicitly design these minimum payments to keep you trapped in a deadly cycle of paying pure interest for decades. They want you bleeding cash, but today we are breaking you out. There are two legendary battle-tested strategies to destroy debt: the Debt Avalanche and the Debt Snowball. One saves you the most money, the other saves your sanity. Today, we map out exactly which weapon will guarantee your financial freedom. In this video, we are deconstructing these two financial titans. In this corner, the Debt Avalanche, the purely mathematical, ruthless approach. It demands that you attack high interest rates first to minimize the cost. In the other corner, the Debt Snowball, the psychological momentum machine. It demands you ignore interest and attack small balances first to build emotional dopamine. By the end of this deep dive, you will know precisely which strategy to pick to reclaim your future. Before you can apply either weapon, you must execute pregame step 1, stop the bleeding. You cannot pay off debt while you are simultaneously generating new debt. This is an intervention. If your finances are bleeding, you must apply a tourniquet. Freeze all credit cards. Literally put them in ice. Cancel every single premium subscription. Adopt a temporary emergency, bare-bones survival budget. You must physically create a surplus of cash to launch your attack. Pre-game, step 2 is the total debt inventory. Strip away the denial. Log into every single account and create a brutal master list. For today's example, imagine you are bleeding from 3 wounds. You have a $1,000 medical bill at a 5% interest rate, a $5,000 car loan at 9%, and a massive $10,000 credit card balance at a brutal, toxic 22%. Throwing random extra cash at these bills will not work. You need a targeted, ruthless strike. Here is the foundational rule for both strategies. Imagine you have found an extra $900 a month in your survival budget to attack your debt. Your only job right now is to pay the absolute bare minimum on all your debts, except for the one target you have chosen to destroy. Take that entire dollars plus whatever minimum you were paying on the target and focus it violently into that single account. We are creating a cash laser beam. Weapon number 1 is the Debt Avalanche. This is the strategy of mathematical supremacy. The avalanche ignores the size of the balance and focuses exclusively on the interest rate. It demands that you attack the debt with the highest interest rate first. In our example, the avalanche target would be the $10,000 credit card at its toxic 22% rate. This method minimizes the total profit you pay to the banks. Let's apply the avalanche weapon to our scenario. You attack the $10,000 credit card with your $900 surplus. Minimums are $250 on the credit card, $300 auto, $50 medical. Total attack on the CC, $1,150 a month, $900 plus $250. It will take you nearly 10 months to pay this off. 10 consecutive months of extreme sacrifice. For those 10 months, you are paying 3 separate bills every single month, and you see 0 quick wins. What is the massive benefit of the avalanche? Savings. The avalanche is mathematically optimal. By crushing the 22% rate first, you stop that toxic compounding interest immediately. Let's compare the numbers on this scenario. Over the life of your debt payoff, using the avalanche method would save you nearly $1,800 in total interest payments compared to other methods. If you are extremely disciplined and analytical, this is the cheapest way out. But the avalanche has a fatal psychological flaw. Most people are not robotic calculators. They are emotional beings. Because you are attacking the largest balance first, you are not crossing anything off your list for an entire year. For 12 agonizing months, you feel like you are sacrificing everything for zero visual progress. You get bored, you get exhausted, and you get overwhelmed by the mountain of remaining debt. This is why the Avalanche has an exceptionally high quit rate. Before we jump to the next strategy, we must internalize one universal law. You must never, ever pay interest on a depreciating asset. Borrowing money from a bank at a high rate to buy an object that is mathematically guaranteed to plummet in value is the definition of financial self-sabotage. Every dollar you lose to auto depreciation is a dollar violently stolen from your emergency fund. You are trading your future safety for the temporary smell of new leather. Weapon number 2 is the debt snowball. The snowball method explicitly ignores interest rates. Instead, you order your debts by their total balance, from the smallest to the largest. It demands you target the smallest debt first, while paying minimums on everything else. The theory is that you need quick visual wins to stay motivated. The snowball method targets your psychology, not your math. Let's apply the snowball weapon to our scenario. You ignore the interest rates and list them. Medical, $1,000. Auto, $5,000. Credit card, $10,000. You attack the medical bill with your entire $900 surplus. Within just 2 months, bam! The medical bill is completely crossed off your list. You just permanently eliminated one monthly payment from your life forever. You take that $900 surplus and the $50 minimum you were paying and roll that entire $950 cascade into the auto loan. Why does the snowball method work so well when the math is less optimal? Pure behavioral science. The human brain is a dopamine machine. When you cross a debt off your list in just 2 months, you get a massive, undeniable hit of emotional satisfaction. You feel powerful. You feel in control. That visual momentum gives you the aggressive psychological energy you need to tackle the $5,000 car loan and eventually the massive credit card. You finish the race. Another pro of the snowball is that you reclaim your cash flow much faster. In the Avalanche, you were paying 3 bills for an entire year. In the snowball, by month 2, you are down to 2 bills, and by month 7, you are down to just 1. If a true emergency happens, you have more available cash on hand because you have eliminated the lower mandatory minimum payments. This creates a psychological safety net during the aggressive attack phase. Now, we must address a critical rule. You must not start either of these payoff strategies with zero cash on hand. Personal finance is about managing risk. If you are aggressive, you will experience a financial emergency. A tire will explode, or you will need a root canal. If you have zero cash buffer, you will be forced to use a credit card, which will destroy your momentum and your psychology. Before you start either snowball or avalanche, you must save a small starter emergency fund of $1,000 in pure cash. Why did smart people fall into this debt trap in the first place? Often, it's a psychological phenomenon called lifestyle creep, or the hedonic treadmill. When you get a raise from $50,000 to $80,000, your emotional brain immediately decides that your perfectly reliable 5-year-old car is too old. You move into a luxury loft, you dine out at steakhouses, you increase your expenses at the exact same rate as your income, keeping your wealth at absolute zero. You cannot out-earn a bad spending habit. Say it. The emotional mechanism that triggers lifestyle creep is what I call the I deserve it fallacy. After working 60 hours a week under relational pressure, you see a dealership or an ad for a beautiful premium vehicle. Your emotional brain kicks in, I work so hard. I suffer at the office. Life is short. I deserve a nice car. Let me validate your feelings. Yes, you do work hard. But locking yourself into 7 years of high-interest debt is not a reward. A heated steering wheel will never give you peace of mind. True freedom from debt is what you actually deserve. Let's put them head to head. The debt avalanche is for the robotic, analytical mind. If you are extremely disciplined, never lose focus, and hate paying extra interest to banks, use the avalanche. But if you have tried to pay off debt before and failed, Or if you feel completely overwhelmed by the numbers, you need the debt snowball. The math absolutely does not matter if you quit halfway through. The best debt payoff strategy is simply the one you will actually stick to. The day you cross that final debt off your list, your financial behavior does not end. It merely transforms. You just unlocked nearly $11,000 a year in freed up cash flow. You now take that entire former car payment and roll it directly into your fully funded emergency account. You take that same cash and you pump it into an S&P 500 index fund. You stop feeding automotive corporations and you start paying yourself. You are finally building true wealth. Debt payoff is the starting line, not the finish line. Debt is a state of emergency, but you now have the exact blueprint to escape it. Pick your weapon today. List your debts, find your target, and start the attack. If you want the exact templates and tools to accelerate your wealth building and scale your income, check the link in the description. Stop feeding the banks, take control of your cash flow, and build your financial fortress. Subscribe for more brutal financial truths.